Hey, Tej here. Today we're taking a look at technical analysis for SP500 with Elliott Wave Theory. Let's start here with the more macro picture. Again, the idea overall has been that we have created some kind of five-way move from the lows of March 2020, and now we would be correcting that move. Again, it is already pretty confident, or we are pretty confident that this indeed is done, and we would have something like this as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in this scenario. Then we would be looking for that correction. If we are looking at time element, we are seeking somewhat relevant time of 1 to 1 for that. At the moment, we see that that would be around the October 2023, which would give us another year of correction. At this point, or after this point, it generally is thought that it is more likely to be a C wave upwards. If we are just looking at from the local structures. However, of course, that does not fit into the higher time frame ideas that we have. But again, as long as we keep and hold this high here, or this low of 2177 on the futures chart, we are still in the bullish idea. We can start to shift our bias more if we go beyond the golden pocket here and the 3188. And if we are starting to close below this, then we can start looking for more of the more bearish counts that we had on very high time frame, where this was topping some of the very high time frame structures, and we would be just starting the multi-year or multi-decade even downwards slope, where we would be correcting this whole structure that we had that we've had for this whole rise. Again, this is not showing all the data, but you get the point. A very long correction where we would be just trading these kind of structures all over again, and a lot of the traders would be getting chopped up, and the investments definitely wouldn't be that safe. But again, that would be just around here, and then we can be talking about that more. So let's not get too ahead of ourselves and get through the counts that we have from the top at the moment. Let's start with the a bit more, not that common count, or not that probable count, I guess, where we would have this as a W, X, Y, X, Z. I've shown this before, and in here in the last leg we would have ABC, ABC, ABC. So a double zigzag basically here into the last bit. On the last area here, we would have to have, or we would just hit the 0.618 here as well on logarithmic scale only, just tagging it slightly. So that has to be, remember that it is a bit less likely of accounts just due to the proportions here on the last leg. It definitely has the potential of being a five-way structure instead. But yeah, that is that. That would say that, okay, we have a correction that has potential end here. Either this is part or the first structure of that correction, or this is the whole correction itself. At this point, we are on around the 50% retracement on arithmetic scale and the 38.2 retracement on logarithmic scale. So that has some confluence here on higher time frame as well. Then we would be looking for a more of a bullish structure from these lows upwards, and that is definitely possible. We have a count that is saying that we have some kind of leading diagonal from these lows. We'll take a look at those smaller time frames later on. Then we had this WXY count, where we have been pondering about two different ideas. Overall, the idea has been that we have a three-way structure here into this low here. But instead of that WXYZ, where this would be the X, where we would be looking to create this as a connector wave, like this, into a higher time frame X. So this would be a WX, and then we would be looking for wave Y here. On this scenario, we could be again labeling this structure here as a five-way structure, as mentioned before, and then looking for this as a three-way correction upwards, and then pivoting down for another C wave of five-way structure coming down to complete this wave Y. This is kind of proportionate looking, in my opinion. It seems pretty decent. We got right around almost to the golden pocket back here with the X, but not quite. It doesn't look half bad, in my opinion. The other option here was that instead of this being the X wave would jump up in here, further down the line, where we have the one-to-one extension in time in comparison to this wave W here. So that would be more proportionate in that sense. Then we would have again this as the three-way structure. That would be the start of that X wave, and then we would have this as either a WXY or this WXYXZ that I had labeled here before. Both of these are valid. I guess this could be a bit more rare than the other one, but again that 0.618 hit only on the logarithmic scale is a bit scuffed in my opinion, but again both valid. Then we would be looking for this as a C wave. At the moment I don't have a C wave that is actually ending here, because on ending diagonals we would have to have all these as a as some kind of three-way structures, but these here definitely feel like more five-way structures. So there is a chance that this is just the leading diagonal and not that ending diagonal that we were looking for. So we have other scenarios here where we have this as three waves. So I feel like on that note we would have to shift our bias from WXYs to ABCs into a WXY here, where we would be completing this like so instead of an ABC. We have gone beyond the minimum of 0.618 for this move here upwards, and close to the one-to-one. I don't think we're going to be hitting that unless this structure is something else than this one that I've thought out. But those are the structures on higher time frame that I'm looking at. Let's dive into these more structures, or these smallest time frame structures from the lows of 13th of October. In here, we had a chance of a three-way move where we would have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into wave 1 or wave A, then three-way pullback into B or wave 2. Again, it is not very clear, this structure over here, how we're going to get down here to B, but again, that is that. Then we would have another 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, having the possible end at these highs, closing onto the one-to-one extension in price, but not getting that hit. There is definitely a chance that this is done here, and yeah, that would be the completion of that ABC. This would be also the possible completion of this WXY that I was just talking about. Then we had a bit more elongated structure where we would have this as a W wave here, which would include or have inside as a W, X, and Y. This is very proportionate. It is really good looking in my opinion. We're getting almost to the one-to-one extension there, and in time we would be getting almost to the one-to-one extension as well. So we're not quite hitting the targets, but it is very close. Then if we have the W here, we would be looking for a correction or something that is correcting this structure, having a connector basically and then pivot upwards. At this point, the idea would be that we would have this as an A wave, then B wave consisting of an ABC, and then we would be looking for pivot downwards. There is a possibility where this C wave is already complete and it is up in here, and we would be hitting that 1.382 extension target right here around 39.16. I would have liked us to take out these lows. There is of course a possibility where this is a five-way structure coming down. It is more prevalent and easier to see that on the SPX. So what if we are going there? Let's take a look at that. Again, on 1 hour, this could be labeled as five ways like so. We would be looking for that divergence here, and then we would be pivoting up. So that is way easier to see on that SPX chart than in here. It is very choppy in here due to all the events that we had. But yeah, that counts as well. We had a few different ideas for the more local structures, not really too relevant in my opinion. This is one of the ones that I wanted to show you as well. TradingView is having issues where the folders are changing places randomly, but they haven't been able to fix it for like 2 months that I've had that issue. But yeah, nevertheless, let's take a look at this. Ending diagonal would be only a 333, and we can see here that we would be labeling these as five-way structures. this here looks like a 5-way structure as well, and this would be labeled as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a 5-way structure, so 5, 3, 5, 3, 5. So this would be a leading diagonal. Again, how this would be fitting into any of the scenarios is a big question. It would fit the best for this WXYXZ, where this would be potentially another wave 1 or wave A of something, and then we would be creating something like this. Overall, I don't think that we are done with the correction. So I do think that if we have this as the count, then we would be looking for a creation of some kind of a move upwards here as a corrective structure instead of a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 impulse wave structure. So this would be instead a, B, and C. So we would be connecting next this structure here and looking for downwards. Again, depending on how high this goes, and depending of course how low this goes, we can only then, once we are around here, to project some kind of targets downwards. At the moment, there is definitely a possibility where if this is the count that we would be looking for, we would have this again, that 5-way structure as shown on the SPX. We would have 3-way pullback and then another 5-way structure coming down. So that would be some kind of a structure that would be the connector, basically connecting this structure over here to the next. And that would be giving us our connector wave connecting this structure over here into the next. And at that point, we would be already at the golden pocket. And that, again, the projection was around anywhere from next year's summer to end of next year. So that is going to take a lot of time. But again, that is going to be clearing up at some point, and definitely we're going to be having trades on the way up and down. We don't need to be just holding it back. But I think that is going to do it for this macro video. Hope you enjoyed it, and if you made it this far, again, I would appreciate the likes. Link to my free Discord server in the description below, and for now I thank you for watching and hope you have an amazing rest of your day. See you next video. Bye bye.